Okay, so can anyone tell me some properties of concrete? Anyone? Can anyone tell me at least one property of concrete? One property of concrete. If you know any one property of concrete, then you please tell me. Okay, so no one have any idea about the properties of concrete or what? At least someone please say something. Whether you heard about it or you didn't study or you studied but you forgot, at least say something.
Fire resistance.
Uh-huh. Fire resistance. Okay, okay. So is there any other property? Any other?
It has high compressive strength.
Yeah, good. High compressive strength. And
Impact resistance.
yes,
Impact resistance, sir.
impact resistance. Okay, any other?
Durability.
Yes,
Durability.
durability, na?
Sir.
Okay, whenever you speak loudly, okay? Because your voice is very low. Ginmohan Lal, your voice is very low. Okay, okay. So I can hear you, the properties. Okay, so first write down number one, compressive strength. Write down number one, compressive strength. So under this compressive strength, write down it is determined by cube test. It is determined by cube test. It is determined by cube test. Then write down the characteristic compressive strength of concrete. The characteristic compressive strength of concrete is defined as the compressive strength of is defined as the compressive strength of 15 centimeter cubes 15 centimeter cubes at 28 days at 28 days at 28 days at 28 days in Newton per millimeter square in Newton per millimeter square in Newton per millimeter square, below which not more than below which not more than 5% of the test results 5% of the test results 5% of the test results are expected to fail, below which not more than 5% test results are expected to fail. It is represented by FCK, small f suffix ck. Okay, it is represented by small f then write down suffix ck, small c, small k. F, small f, suffix, that means you write down ck at the bottom of f, ck, okay, small c, small k. So whenever you see FCK value in any book, then you have to understand it is the compressive strength of, characteristic compressive strength of that particular grade of concrete. Okay. So, okay, next write down. Okay, so now change the paragraph and write down. The strength of concrete is, greatly affected by, the strength of concrete is greatly affected by water cement ratio. Water cement ratio. The strength of concrete is greatly affected by water cement ratio. Next write down, the higher the water cement ratio, comma, the lower is the strength. The higher the water cement ratio, comma, the lower is the strength. Next write down, as per Abraham's law. As per Abraham's law. You can regularly see the chat box, okay? Abraham's law. As per Abraham's law, comma, the compressive strength of concrete is inversely proportional to water cement ratio. Inversely proportional to water cement ratio.
Compressive strength.
Compressive strength of concrete is inversely proportional to water cement ratio. Inversely proportional to water cement ratio. Okay, so I hope all of you can write whatever I have said. Okay, so now if I tell you that you have a M20 grade of concrete, I have given you a M20 grade of concrete, then can you tell me what will be the value of characteristic compressive strength? Say you have a cube of M20 grade of concrete. Okay, so now can you tell me what will be the value of FCK or characteristic compressive strength? Say I have given you a cube, okay, cube of M20 concrete, M20 grade of concrete. So now can you tell me what will be the value of characteristic compressive strength?
20, sir. 20.
Huh?
FCK equal to 20. FCK
Yes.
equal to 20.
FCK equal to how much?
20.
Yeah, what will be the unit?
Kilonewton.
You are guessing the units. Just strength is nothing but the stress. Okay. Stress, what is the unit of stress?
Newton, sir. Newton.
Newton per millimeter square. Okay, you remember this one. M20,
Yes, sir.
the value of characteristic strength is 20 Newton per millimeter square. Or you can write down FCK equal to 20 Newton per millimeter square. You can write down as for example. As for example, for M20 grade of concrete, FCK equal to 20 Newton per millimeter square.
Okay, sir.
Okay. For other countries also, if I give, in a question you get that M25 grade of concrete is there, then what will be the value of FCK? It will be 25. Okay, 25 Newton per millimeter square. So whenever the grade of concrete will be given, you have to understand that the characteristic strength is the grade of concrete. Means if it is M20 grade of concrete, then FCK will be 20. If it is M15, then FCK will be 15. Okay, like that it will go on. Okay, then one thing you have to remember very nicely, very accurately, that water cement ratio is inversely proportional to your characteristic strength. That means if you increase the water cement ratio, then the strength will decrease. Okay, this is very important point. You have to remember this one. If your water cement ratio will be more, strength will be less, and if it is less, then your strength will be more. That thing you have to remember. Okay, so this is one of the first characteristics of our concrete. Then, okay, so now do you have IS 456 with you? I told you to download that IS 456. Do you have IS 456 with you? Yesterday I told you to download IS 456 2000. Do you have that with you? Hello? Please respond. Whether you have or not, just tell me whether I...
Yes, sir.
हाँ? डाउनलोड किया कि नहीं वो बोलो मुझे सिर्फ. डाउनलोड किया?
Yes, sir.
IS 456 जो बोला था कल डाउनलोड करने के लिए, डाउनलोड किया कि नहीं?
Yes, sir. The PDF is downloaded, sir.
Downloaded, na? Okay, so now I will tell you. Okay, so now you open the IS 456. Open the PDF. It is a very small file. You can, if you didn't download yesterday, then you can download now also. It's a very small file. Okay, it will be around 1 MB or 2 MB. You just download the file IS 456 2000. You type in Google IS 456 2000, whatever PDF you will appear, you just download it. Okay, so now those who have IS 456 to 2000 with you, then you go to page number, okay, clause number 6.2.2. Go to clause number 6.2.2. It will be, I think it will be around in page number 16. Clause 6.2.2. Clause 6.2.2. Go to clause 6.2.2. Can you see what it is written in clause number 6.2.2? I think it will be in page number 16.
Tensile strength of concrete or what, sir?
Yeah, tensile strength of concrete, yes. Can you see the formula? FCR equal to this one, 0.7 square root of FCK Newton per millimeter square. Can you see the formula?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tensile strength.
हाँ, तुम लोगों को फॉर्मूला दिखाई दे रहा है ना, वहाँ पे जो फॉर्मूला लिखा हुआ है 6.2.2. Go to clause number 6.2.2. You can see a formula, flexural strength equal to 0.7 square root of FCK. Okay, so now say in your exam you are getting that for M20 grade of concrete, what will be the tensile strength? Then how can you find out? How can you find out the value? For M20, you can write down also for M20 concrete, what is the tensile strength? For M20 grade of concrete, what will be the tensile strength of concrete? For M20 grade, comma, what will be the tensile strength of concrete? Can you tell me how to find out? Can you tell me how to find out?
0.6 into root over 20 Newton per mm.
Yeah. Just you have to put the value in that formula according to clause number 6.2.2. Okay, so and the value will be 0.7 into square root of 20. So whatever value will come out, that will be the tensile strength for that particular grade of concrete. Okay. I hope all of you can find out. Yes or no? Okay, so those except Arif Khan, only Arif Khan is replying. And what about the other students? So many students are present, but no one is responding anything. Whether you are listening to me, whether you can find out the values or not, just at least tell me something. Kishan,
Yes, sir.
can you find out the value? Kishan Chanambam, can you find out the value?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can find out, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then Christina Nopi. Christina Nopi, can you find out? Arif Khan, value mila? Okay. Febina Vasumotari, can you find out the value? Febina Vasumotari. Okay, so I hope all of you can find out the value. If the grade of concrete is given.
3.13, sir. 3.13 Newton per
Okay,
mm square.
okay, so use your calculator 0.7 into square root of 20. Whatever value will come out, it will be around 3 point something, no?
3.13
Yeah, okay. So, and what will be the unit?
Newton per mm square.
Yes. You remember this one because in exam, this is one of the most common mistakes you will do. Okay, most of the students forgot to write down the unit and they just write down kilonewton meter or anything, any unit. Okay, so whenever strength is mentioned, compressive strength, tensile strength, you have to understand. Normally, the value is given in Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so if any other units are there, it will be mentioned in the question. Okay, so whenever compressive strength you will write down compressive strength, then your unit will be Newton per millimeter square. Similarly, for tensile strength also Newton per millimeter square only. Okay, so you remember this one. Okay, so next one thing in the same page you put down 6.2.3.1, clause number 6.2.3.1. In the same page 6.2.3.1. In the IS code, in the design code 6.2.3.1. What you can see another formula is given. EC equal to 5000 square root of FCK. Can you see the formula? Can you see the formula?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Is equal to
5000 square root of FCK. So EC means modulus of elasticity for concrete. C for concrete. E for modulus of elasticity. Okay, I hope you have studied about modulus of elasticity. What is Young's modulus? What is stress and strain? You have studied in the recent semesters, is it?
Sir.
Arif Khan.
Yes, sir.
पहले पढ़ा था कि नहीं? What is modulus of elasticity? मतलब Young's modulus. Stress is proportional to strain. So in that case, you have to put one constant. That constant is known as modulus of elasticity. I hope you have studied these things in the last semester.
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? Okay. So now EC equal to 5000 square root of FCK. That means modulus of elasticity for concrete equal to 5000 FCK. So for M20 grade of concrete, how to find out modulus of elasticity? How can you find out?
5000 root 20.
Yeah, 5000 into square root of 20. For M30 grade of concrete, how can you find out? Same. Only FCK value will be 30. Okay. So I hope all of you can find out. For any grade of concrete, I hope all of you can find out the value of modulus of elasticity. Is it? If you can find out, then at least if you are not responding, please write down in the chat box, yes sir, no sir. At least write down something so that I can understand whatever you are listening to me or not. You are not at all responding. Except Arif Khan and another student. Others, please respond. Huh? Whenever I ask you some question, if you can, then you write down yes. If you don't, then you write down no sir, you can't find it. Okay. Okay, so next next property, write down workability. Workability. Write down. Workability of concrete is defined as the workability of concrete is defined as the workability of concrete is defined as the ease by which ease spelling EASE, ease by which it can be mixed, ease by which it can be mixed, comma placed, comma compacted, comma compacted and finished. Okay, so I will repeat the line again. Workability of concrete is defined as the ease by which it can be mixed, comma placed, comma compacted and finished. Okay, so next write down next line. A workable concrete should not bleed or segregate. You can see the chat box continuously. Okay, so if any hard word is there, I will write down in the chat box. Okay, so a workable concrete should not bleed or segregate. Okay, so now now if I ask you then that what is bleeding, then what you will say? If I ask you what is bleeding of concrete, I have said just now that a workable concrete should not bleed. That means our concrete also can bleed, is it? Just like us. If we cut our hand by blade or something, then blood is coming out, is it? So similarly, in concrete also, it might bleed. Bleeding might occur. So, can you tell me what is bleeding of concrete? Arif Khan, can you tell me the answer? What is bleeding of concrete?
Maybe release of water.
Yeah, maybe release of water. Okay, so now can you tell me why water will be released from concrete? Why? In which condition water will be released from concrete? Okay, so you remember this. If you add more amount of water, so exceeding the required amount, if you add extra amount of water, then what will happen? That water will mix with cement and that extra water will come out, and that extra water will take cement with it, and as a result of that, the required, you will not get the required strength of concrete. Okay, so that is known as bleeding. When you add extra amount of water, extra means amount which is not required. You are adding water without calculating how much water is actually needed. You didn't calculate that and you are just adding water in that concrete. So in that case, what might happen? That the extra water will come out from the concrete, and it will not be only water. It will take cement and sand with it. When it will be coming out from concrete, it will take cement and sand also with it. And as a result of that, you will not get the desired strength of concrete. Okay. So that is known as bleeding. Okay, so now what is segregate? Segregation of concrete. What is segregation of concrete? I hope all of you understand the word segregate. Segregate means what? If I just ask you what is the meaning of the word segregate, then what you will tell me? Segregate means what is the meaning of the word segregate? Just tell me the meaning. Segregate. Yeah, segregate means? Segregate means separate. We have to separate them. Okay, so say I am giving you some coins. Okay, say one rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin, 10 rupees coin, and I have put those coins in a bowl. Okay, in a container, and I say I told you that please segregate the coins. Then what you will do? You will take out 1 rupees coin, one rupee coin separately, 2 rupee coin separately, 5 rupees coin separately, and 10 rupees coin separately. That is known as segregation. Means you are separating individual coins. Okay, you are separating individual coins from that mixture. Okay, that is known as your segregation. Segregation is nothing but the separation of individual parts. Okay, so now can you tell me what are the different components in concrete? What are the different ingredients of concrete? What are the different ingredients of concrete?
Sand, cement.
Yes, sand, cement. And
Fine aggregate, coarse aggregate.
yeah, cement, sand, and coarse aggregate. Okay, and water. Okay, so these are the components of our concrete. Okay, so now can you use your common sense and tell me in which case these components can separate out? By when you are placing the concrete, you have add water, you have already added the water, and while you are trying to place that concrete, you can see the individual components are getting out. Means you can see the individual parts separately. Cement is one, no, sand is in one place, these coarse aggregates are in another place. You can see separate ingredients in the concrete. In which condition it might happen? In which condition it might happen?
Mixing properly. Mixer is not proper, then
No, segregation means if you are not adding enough means required. Okay, so whatever amount of water is actually needed, you are adding very small amount of water. So in that case, what will happen? After mixing, you can see individual parts. When you will try to mix it, you can see coarse aggregates in one place, cement and sand in another place, water, then water, cement in another place. You can see individual parts are getting separated out. Okay, so and that concrete is not at all workable. You can't use that concrete. Okay, so that is known as your segregation. Means if you are adding less amount of water than the required quantity, then what will happen? Each ingredients of concrete will separate out from each other. Okay, so that concrete will not be in workable concrete, and we can't use that concrete for our desired purpose. Okay, that is known as separation or segregation of concrete. Okay, so we have got two terms. One is known as bleeding, another one is known as segregation. So if I ask you what is bleeding of concrete, then you have to say, if we add extra amount of water in that concrete, then that extra amount will take cement with it, and it will flow out of the concrete, and as a result of that, we will not get the desired strength. So that is known as bleeding. So then if I ask you what is segregation of concrete, then you will say that if you add less quantity of water than the required amount, then what will happen? Each ingredients will separate out from each other. That concrete will not be an workable concrete, and that condition is known as segregation of concrete. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood these two terms. Yes or no? If you understood what I have said, write down yes or tell me yes. Okay. Okay, so next write down workability depends on the following factors. Write down workability depends on the following factors. Workability depends on the following factors. Number one, water cement ratio. Number one, water cement ratio. Number one, water cement ratio. Next, number two, size of aggregate. Number two, size of aggregate. Then number three, shape of aggregate. Then number three, shape of aggregate. Shape of aggregate. Then number four, ratio of fine to coarse aggregate. Ratio of fine to coarse aggregate. Ratio of fine to coarse aggregate. Okay, so these are the factors on which our workability depends. Okay, so next you write down the workability can be measured by the following tests. The workability can be measured by the following test. The workability can be measured by the following test. Number one, slump test. Number one, slump test. I am writing down the names in chat box. You can see it. Okay, slump test. Then number two, VB test. You can see the chat box. VB test. VWV, BWB. VB test. And number three, compaction factor test. So you can see the chat box. I have written down all the three tests. One is slump test, then second one is VB test, and the third one is compaction factor test. Okay, so next, number three, write down the third one. Third characteristic of third property of concrete, write down durability. Third property, durability. Write down the concrete should be durable. The concrete should be durable. The concrete should be durable to the environment. To the environment. To the environment it is exposed to. The concrete should be durable to the environment it is exposed to. It is exposed to during its life period. During its life period. Next, right now, the various types of exposure conditions. The various types of exposure conditions. The various types of exposure conditions are listed in table 5. Table 5 of IS 456-2000. Table 5 of IS 456-2000. Table 5 of IS 456-2000. Next item, which specify the various types of exposure conditions are listed in table 5 of IS 456-2000, which specifies the maximum water cement ratio. Which specifies the maximum water cement ratio and minimum cement content under different exposure conditions. Under different exposure conditions. You can see table 5. Okay, you can see table 5 of IS 456. I think it is in page number 20. It is in page number 20. Clause number 8.2.5.3. Clause number 8.2.5.3. Clause number 8.2.5.3. Page number 20. You can see the different exposure conditions are given, then minimum cement content is given, and maximum water cement ratio is also given. Okay. Okay, so next property, write down number 4, tensile strength. Number 4. Okay, so now this meeting will be over in 5 minutes. Okay, so after 5 minutes, when the meeting will be over, I will share another link in your group. Then you can log in again. Okay, you can join again with the new link. After 5 minutes, this meeting will be over. Then I will share another new link in the group. Then you can join again. Okay, so then number 4, tensile strength. Write down the tensile strength of concrete. The tensile strength of concrete can be correlated with the tensile strength of concrete can be correlated with the characteristic compressive strength of concrete. Next, write down IS 456-2000 gives the following relation. Gives the following relation which can be used in the design. Therefore, as per clause 6.2.2, as per clause 6.2.2, as per clause 6.2.2, you write down the relation FCR equal to 0.7 square root of FCK in Newton per millimeter square. Write down the relation which we have already discussed before. FCR equal to 0.7 square root of FCK Newton per millimeter square, where FCK is the characteristic compressive strength of concrete in Newton per millimeter square. You write down from the IS code. Write down the formula and write down. I will take the attendance at the end of the second class. Okay, at the end of the second session. So if you don't join again, then you will miss the class. Okay, so I hope all of you have written down, is it? According to clause number 6.2.2, I hope all of you have written FCR equal to 0.7 square root of FCK, where FCK is the characteristic compressive strength of concrete in Newton per millimeter square. Hello?
Teacher.
Okay. So I will share the new link with you, okay? It is going to over now. I am going to share the new link.